Nigeria knows my position in everything. When I see white, I say it is white. When I see black, I say it is black. I'm not afraid of anything. The only project this APC government has given to Nigeria is daily killings. Daily killings. That's the only project. It's not the only project. Mention one project beneficial to us, to anywhere you can say that this government has given, other than every day somebody will die, people will be kidnapped, this and that. Are we not tired of that? Every day you watch on television, breaking news. What is the breaking news? President is meeting with service chiefs. How can that be breaking news? Is it not supposed to be to them? What will be the breaking news is the result. That he said all these bandits have been killed. Then it will be breaking news. Not the meeting becomes breaking news. We are tired of this breaking news. As everything must be done to win this election. No sentiment should be brought in. Look at the injustice in this country. This country had never been divided the way it is divided today.
I also felt it's a good way to go, because if we are pushing for P2B candidacy, he's not going to walk alone like an orphan. He will need at least, I really want us to also put a shot and win the Lagos state too. If we have other people in strategic positions, then it will be a lot easier for the president to function well. So locally, for me, anybody that is willing to work, I preach P2B everywhere I go to. My office, everywhere. I don't limit myself at all. And I really want to encourage us to preach him everywhere we go to. A lot like him, a lot of people will come in with tribal law, a lot of people will come in. People are attached to their religion and their tribe, yes. So I will really encourage us to keep on the good work. And above all, if possible, if we can identify those that are not even registered with PVC, they are not registered for PVC, they can work voluntarily, because it's not just voting. Votes need to be protected. Then the only concern I have is, where I live, the last election, our vote was not counted because the boys came, shot in the air, burnt our votes. So the question is, are we thinking of a strategy to protect our votes? I'm not, if the answer is not readily available, I want us to think about it. Maybe brainstorm with those at the head. That's just my submission. We are doing well.
An opposition that is already on the ground, even if they have only one leg left, it is a formidable opposition. So I think that because I speak for my party, and I think that PDP has the experience, I don't believe in this messianic approach to leadership, because I think that's the current problem. Nigerians are always looking for messiahs. Oh, that is the man. We already made that mistake in 2015. The man that will solve all our problems. There is no messiah anywhere. Anybody can be the leader of this country and will be faced with the same challenge and difficulty. Do you think that President Buhari himself wanted to fail? He didn't want to fail. But he came in and the office became so big for him, and his health challenges and every other factor. And look at where we are today. So it's not the messiah that will cure the problem. The problem is with the system, is with the structure to come up with.
Thank you, Aneke. I think you've spoken like a politician who knows politics so much, and you know that in politics is a science, it's not an art. Just like I usually tell people that it's very simple. APC has 22 states. All they need is just to add 2 more states, and they will get their constitutional requirements.
But you see, there is a factor that works for the opposition this time. The North is open for canvassing. For instance, an Atiku Abubakar candidacy will naturally break the religious and ethnic sentiments in his favor. And then it offers an opportunity for PDP, for instance...
As an opposition that is divided into four branches, You have the articulated, you have the obedient, you have the conversation.
I don't completely agree with you. The only problem he has is PDP.
No, I want to ask you this question holistically. That's why I'm laying foundation. So then you have the PDP controversy led by Wike. So an opposition divided into 4 different branches and heading in different directions. So you think that opposition can challenge an incumbent ruling party with 22 governors and come tops, that any of these branches can come tops? You sincerely think that this is even possible in a dream?
For me, I'll go first. The only major challenge PDP, for instance, has now is to solve the problem with Wike and the governors. That, for me, is the only fundamental challenge. Labour Party is basically made up of supporters of people who were not really involved in the political process. I take my state, for instance. Most of the people who came out for the rallies are people who don't even vote. There are people who don't get involved. They don't belong to associations. They don't belong to the structure. And you see, we've done this business over and over again. At every unit, you know everybody by face. And you know those who come out for elections. Most of these guys are people who don't come out for elections. And they are likely not to have even received their PVCs. Most of them only registered recently. So Labour Party, for me, is a problem. But the sentiment is there. If the Wike issue can be quickly resolved, because that is where, without this issue being resolved, PDP goes into this election very weakened and very unlikely to upturn a ruling party like the APC, with Tinubu, who is a very practical politician who will go in the Nigerian way and get things done.
So I think a lot of people have said a lot of things. And you, in particular, Deji, you have experience of the North because you've stayed even in Kano, and you know how elections are being done in those places. You see, as we approach, like you said, December, as we approach the election, you will see a lot of alignment, you will see a lot of transfers. All this, there are 2 big factors, or the 2 big politicians, per se, Atiku and Tinubu. They will be getting the transfers, the alignment, the everything. If you go to most of the northern states, there are in each state you can remove like 10 people. That if you want something for Tinubu or Atiku, that they can do it. They can bring out 100 million naira and do it. Because they've been there for a long time. They've been doing their own alignment and they've been doing their homework for a long time. They've all tried to build wingers and everything. You see, the obedient movement is a movement that youths are doing it. They've taken over themselves. It is for the youths are doing wonderfully well in that place. But winning election in Nigeria is beyond fiction, is beyond movie scripture, and is beyond social media. Recently, NDLA has been intercepting a lot of tramadol. Thank God that those tramadols have been intercepted. If not so, if this tramadol reach the destination and these talks are being given all these supplies, and election comes, and if you think a polling you have an agent in a polling unit, you will not. That agent will not even see the polling unit. The election 2023 election, the northern part will decide the next president of this country, because the southwest, we know how it's going to go based on the previous antecedents on all the candidates, the parties. The other side, the south and southeast, the same thing. What's come to us is LP and PDP that will get the highest vote. So the votes in the north, in the northern part, most especially in the northwest, the votes from the northwest, it's where most of these politicians, key players, are playing their role. So I think every other supporter or anything, whether you are Peter Obi supporter or Atiku or Tinubu, you need to keep your emotions aside and face the reality. If you are close to your campaign team, tell them the truth. Tell them what needs to be done. But I tell you, from the alignment that is going on from that side, and I tell you, it is up between, from the north side, it is up between Atiku and Tinubu in that side. That is the sad reality for now. But anything can change. and a lot of things can happen because we still have like 5 months. And the revolutionary movement of obedience, even though some people do insult you if you go against them, but what they are doing is what Nigeria needs for a long time. That the youth need to wake up, the youth need to come up and say, yes, we want what belongs to us and we want the best for this country. And they are doing fantastically well. The youth within the Labour Party movement, they are doing very well. But I tell you, the major players are playing the real game. And going further in the next 2 months, just like Jonathan lost the election, not because of just Buhari popularity, but because of even some PDP governors within that time.
Okay, for me, this election is between Bola Tinubu and Peter Obi. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is not really in the race because most of his lieutenants are not even in control of their states. Sule Lamido is not in control of Jigawa. Dino is not in control of Kogi. Kwara the same. Niger the same. Most states. And now he's on the verge of losing someone like Nyesom that has a voting mechanism in Rivers State, GDI. It's not a joke. He used that in 2011 for re-election of Amici. He did it in 2015, 2019. So I feel the election is between Bola Tinubu, unfortunately, Bola Tinubu and Peter Obi. And somebody talks about the states that APC controls. Well, APC, Bola Tinubu cannot lose Southwest. In fact, even Lagos, I can tell you that the places that people think Peter Obi may win, they are going to use violence to ensure that if they cannot get votes there, they ensure that votes don't come out from those areas. And I feel apart from voting, there are 3 factors that determine the outcome of every election: security, INEC, and the judiciary. When it comes to security, I don't think the Labour Party is interested in using violence, but I know APC will use violence, that's a sure. And PDP, most of their traditional states will fall to Labour.
We have been teaming up to see how we can do something to make sure that people come out to vote. But before I joined the super volunteer group, I worked with Take Back Nigerian team, where we went to INEC to do a volunteer work by helping people make sure they all come out to vote, because the crowd in Port Harcourt City was much. People were like coming out in mass to make sure they vote, but network and low staff attendance was much. So with our team, we came out, we helped the way we could, and the people that could register before the limited time was closed. I found out that even the ones I handled their own transfer and the rest in my office, and within and around my office, they are still finding it difficult to even go to INEC to pick their card. Most of them are big bosses. Most of them, I can't just tell. So in our super volunteer group, we brought up a suggestion, and I want to drop it here. I don't know how it will feel. I just want you guys to look into it and see if we are doing the right thing. We brought out a suggestion. We have seen the analysis that some people are not even ready to come pick up the voters card they registered for. So I don't know if the heads of super volunteer group can work. I don't know if we have heads here in Port Harcourt. I work with Mo. He's the coordinator of our team in Port Harcourt. So we are like looking at going to INEC, pleading to them, like want to work with them again. Not only for people to come down to their office to pick their card. If they can distribute this card to different wards where people are supposed to vote, distribute it, giving us like 2 or 3 staffs to be there with us. Let them don't feel like maybe we want to make our way with the voters card. They will be there with us. We work from morning to night, Monday till Saturday, Sunday. We are ready for it. We work with them, make sure that people come out. And we also brought another suggestion, going to radio stations in Port Harcourt to announce that these things is going to take place. People should make sure they come out to vote. Because we have interviewed like 2-3 people. Some will say, I don't have chance. They give me chance to go out and register. My boss can't give me that chance again to go and pick it. Many excuses. So we just brought out that suggestion. We are still making the move to go to INEC. We haven't. But why I brought it here is, I don't know if anyone is in Port Harcourt, any of our super volunteer team in Port Harcourt are here. If they can help us reach out, even if you are not in Port Harcourt, the top head of the super volunteer, they can help us reach out to any INEC officials who know that they will be able to give us access to this, to work hand in hand with them to make sure that this card gets to the owners and they register with it. One. Then secondly, we did a market walk whereby we took voters' education to the market. We did it with our funds, produced polythene bags bearing super volunteer on it. But it wasn't with the crowd we pulled that day. We were not able to even go far because our materials wasn't much. We did the least our money could carry. And this was a project that we are not up to 10 that put it up. We are not up to 10. We contributed money. We did it. We are the ones that still went to market to distribute and still educate people. And in educating, we find out that people were like excited. They were ready to vote. Some people, we got abuse from some people, but that did not discourage us. We are still eager to go. But our problem is, one, finance. Two, Mr. Morris, we would love you to come to our aid. One, in finance. Two, if you can talk to INEC to make sure to help to accommodate us, work with them, let these people get their cards. Let our sleepless nights not be in vain. Like me, that period I was working with INEC, I left my work, my business for like 3 months. I was just going there after the daily work at INEC in the evening. I will go and know what my people did and come back for 3 good months. So I will not love, after spending my time and the rest, and still hear the story of her, I couldn't make it. So I don't, because most of these people I did things for, I did their transfer and the rest, was their elderly people. And some of these our elderly people, they are our problems. Because I've spoken to 1 or 2, even today we went to market education. So one was even telling me that if somebody that is up to my grandmother's age, that if we do not give her money, she will not go and pick her voter's card. So we are like, Mama, it's not so now. If you collect money today, will that money serve you for 8 years? So with people joking and laughing, she now said, okay, my pikin are done here. We'll do that. But we just did it that day. We don't know their minds. They will still go back to their homes and do what they want to do. So our major problem is finance. Because we have a lot to cover. We have markets to go to in Port Harcourt that we know that, yes, these people, we are going to win their hearts. But we don't have the materials to draw their attention, because we met and we came up that if we just go with mouth and our speaker, these people might not even pay us attention. But if we go with the material thing to draw them, this is Labour Party's logo, we are not going to see OB there, this is how to vote, and the rest, they will be eager to listen to us. We want to know what we are really talking about.
There's so much more to do. Thank God we still have a few months to the election. So we are fully on ground. Our boots are on ground, and everybody's excited about the movement. So the next thing on board now, we're going to go into our medical outreaches. We've already, National Coordinator is already aware of that. Medical outreaches, we're going to be partnering with docs for and they are so ready to work with us. So we're going to be doing a statewide outreach, and so medical, free health talks, medical check, then of course voter education. One of the things we did in one of our market outreach to teach people how to vote, teach them about the logo, the Papa Mama Pikin logo. We had to start reciting it in the market. What is the logo? Papa Mama Pikin. It was just an interesting thing to hear those women chant and scream. Of course, a lot of really giving them aprons and face caps, t-shirts, and stickers and all that. They were also asking for more. Of course, the materials were not enough at all. I was like, oh my God, we have so much to do, so many people to reach out. Materials, they didn't even go anywhere. I was feeling so bad. I was like, madam, where our own now? Where our own apron? Where our own? Give us, things like that. They were very happy. We are all obedient. So, and we, when we're doing the voter education with the women and showing them exactly how to vote, we had our ink, we had our dummy, voter, ballot paper. So they were actually thumbprint, and they were very happy to do it. And they were taking it home, of course. So they won't say, what are you doing to our thumbprint? We gave them to take back home. Go and show your family, show your friends that you are thumbprinting for Labour Party. You have to see all the logos and know which is ours and actually thumbprint there. And it was so nice to do that education. Some people didn't even know the logo. Interesting. Some mature looking women, educated looking women didn't know the logo. They say, I know when you get to touching, they didn't know the place to touch. And I was happy to do that. It was very fulfilling. So we're going to do that in all our markets so that they can all get involved. And not just to teach them, we're getting their data to upload into our website, which is one of our major responsibility as super volunteers, to get them into the website so that they can we can call them, like we're going to be doing shortly.